guys are. I don't know who's here, but I forgot to go get my ice because I was too busy loading up a picture. But I do have a little bit of iced tea, homemade concoction. We will start off with a mixed drink, and we'll have a little chat about open source, organic open source life, open source media, and just a general Q&A of anything you guys feel like talking about. I don't know. The show will be whatever. See who shows up. Maybe we'll talk about censorship and restrictions and their uses and how they get in the way of an evolving society, evolving consciousness, awareness. Seems to be quite a bit of that. You guys know this song? Good tune. Was that Need Somebody? So I did get asked a question. Well, I'll get to that a little later when some more people show up. What should we start with here? Maybe we can start talking about music. Let's talk about where maybe this would be a good place to start the idea of open source. And it's how it's the influence of pop culture, music going from what's on the radio to what's sold as a CD, or how music is consumed. Think about it, even 10 years ago, you could have walked down the street and somebody would have been hustling a CD. 20 years ago, you got people selling their tape out their trunk. There's people that used to be on that hustle that would make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They'd play their music, people would hear it, say, "Oh, who is that?" Like, "Yeah, here, buy excuse me." They'd be like hustling their music out their trunks. And that evolution has been to the point that it's so easy to make music because of systems that it's become well, you can't sell CDs anymore. It's kind of the point. It's not being sold the same way. It's not being packaged the same way. What actual artists need to do, the form, art, the music as an art form has changed, and how it's packaged, how it's sold, and how people consume it. And I remember it was I think De La Soul. I think De La Soul was, I think they're the ones that said music has become disposable. And just what you listen to it's like the flavor of the month. It's like the IKEA furniture. It's great for a minute, but it's gonna fall apart. You're not gonna carry it with you. It's not heirloom. There's no heirloom music. Like, the amount of music that is made these days because of open source has changed, and how people are influenced to consume that, and what they'll pay for, and what they're addicted to. These are a few different angles of looking at how open source is helpful to everyone to be able to find and explore different kinds of music and different things, information in general, and what people become addicted to, and trash information. There's so much information. There's so much music, but a lot of information is trash. A lot of music is trash. But how did the things that have the heirloom seed quality to it, the furniture that used to be bought, it would be handed down not because people were poor, because it was quality. That was my grandfather's table, and it's still there, and it's made of oak, and it's hand carved, and like that's music in solid form. And now we can go buy a piece of pressed lumber that creates IKEA furniture, just like anybody. Right now, anybody in here, I don't care who you are, within a week, you could figure out how to put together music, at least beats. You could put beats together, no problem. I'm not gonna say they're gonna be good. They'll be okay. And you could take your voice and put it on auto tune. And if you had decent lyrics, you could in a week put something out that people will find that's good to them. I mean, is it good music? I mean, could be. Maybe you're already talented, but point is, anybody could do it. If you ask somebody in the 70s to do that, you need to find an artist. You need to find an heirloom, somebody that can that uses analog products, not digital. You have to be able to play the guitar. You have to be able to play the drums. You have to be able to play the keyboard. These are instruments, and you have to have it's your craft. It's a skill. And now the craft and skill of it is changed, because here's the transition. There are plenty of beat makers. There's plenty of producers. There's plenty of people that can make really, really good music while they're using digital equipment, and it's good. You know that those old mixtapes of the producer taking an old record and spinning it with this and putting this beat over it, and then use some digital shit in there. It's still music. It's still a craft. Now you can find people, anybody, any jackass can go buy. You could download it on your phone right now, and probably for free, and go out and play. You could go play at a club or a bar, and be like, hey, do you need somebody to do you need somebody to play music for you? Like I've literally sat in places and played music, and they're like, do you DJ? Do you like? Because I put a good selection of music up, and I'm just hitting through YouTube, and I'm like, I haven't even scratched nothing together. I'm not even. If you know good music, yeah, like. So imagine anybody that even has the first inkling. You don't even need to know how to. You could have two left feet now, not know how to dance, and not be able to play an instrument and still make music. So the transition from in this day and age of all of the digital music, all of the auto tuning, all of the tweaking something, all of the dials and the bells and the whistles and editing and shit. You can make anything sound like anything you wanted. But there's such an abundance of music these days. How does that get to? The equation is given in the book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. It's what is quality. What is quality? You can't point to it. You don't know what. You know it when you see it. You know it when you hear it. But we're continually granted and given and told that things that aren't quality are quality, and then we're like, oh well, it's popular, so it must be good. They say, oh, these musicians, they're popular, so they're making money and they're selling CDs and they're selling whatever these days. They're on the radio. Like, that doesn't mean shit. Because is that going to have any staying power in the future? Is that quality? Or is that just repetitive bullshit that is the same other bullshit? But quality. So this is the same as with information. We're so overly supplied with information that is garbage, but we're repetitively told and who's got the bigger budget to make a commercial for something. Like, I know people that would turn their nose up at having a dinner at a nice restaurant if it didn't have a McDonald's cheeseburger. You know what I mean? Like, there's people that, because they're so accustomed to and trained to, that they would find a good vegetarian meal repulsive. They'd be like, I don't want that. And they might even smell it. I don't like that. Because they've been trained to like things that are not actually quality. There are literally people that, like, oh, that's disgusting. I remember that kid, bacon is good for me. I don't remember that. Just look up bacon is good for me. That's this kid who's like 9 years old, 10 years old, chubby, country, bacon fed. And this woman who's, a wife swap, it's a wife swap thing, tries to make some food or say, hey, we got to get rid of this. And this kid's so upset because he's been so trained to believe that actually bacon is not only good and healthy, but he couldn't even eat any. Oh, this is disgusting. Yeah. Pretty much all across culture. Like, people are more familiar with things that are shit. And say that that's good. You listen to somebody's choices of music, I'm just like, we're probably not going to be able to get along. Have you cooked with someone? You ever cooked for someone or had someone's cooking? Not a lot of people cook these days. Think about that. Like, people think they can make music, but they ain't making music. If you can chef, you know what I mean? It's the same thing as like, oh, microwave a meal. Anybody can microwave a meal. It's not any good. It's not healthy. It's no good for you. Anybody can make music, right? We have a microwave disposable culture. I mean, I don't. The only thing that I'll eat out the microwave is popcorn. That's it. That's the extent of it. And why do I eat microwave popcorn? Because I don't eat it too often. And because I don't have a popcorn machine. I know I can make it on my stove, but I end up, it ends up becoming a little too moist, and I don't know. I'll just take it out. Hey, microwave this, a little bit bullshit here. There's some trash music that I like. Don't get me wrong. I will still go to McDonald's. If anybody wants to come and have a wild night, go to McDonald's. It's part of it too. But I think we're so accustomed to having a bullshit at your forefront of how you experience life that it becomes, if you were to extrapolate this, if you grew up in the 50s, seeing the evolution of, seeing the evolution of all sorts of industries, travel, marketing, food, music, the whole thing. It was Bucky Fuller on one of his talks, and he was talking about how interesting it was growing up, and what his father saw, from never seeing a plane in the sky to all of a sudden you can get on that thing and go to a city that would take you 2-day drive, and you can just get on a thing and be there in 8 hours. It changes your perception of space, time, and wow, a whole new environment. So how instantaneously things that became available to people. In a lot of ways that's great, and in a lot of ways it cheapens the experience. It's great because a lot of people should experience things that are over there they can't get to, and open up their mind to a different world. Much like taking, I hope you can follow all this, like if you take psychedelics, that is like giving somebody the key to the back door and saying walk in, and they walk right in and they go, whoa, this is what it's like, huh? They don't have to go through the whole processes. You just drop them right into here's the whole wonder world. Now that's great, but some people, you can't just rely on that. You need to have the experiential journey. It's not the destination, it's the journey. I agree with that the majority of the time. certainly the destination is very important. It's like, I don't think someone that lives in Canada needs to go on a journey to find their way to Mexico. I don't think they need to go through all of that. They don't need to put a backpack on and hike and do that. I mean, great, if you, maybe it's fun. But I think they should be able to jump on a plane because the technology is there, and they should use it and go experience that other realm. Psychedelics are, sometimes it's like kicking in the front door, key to the back door, whatever you want to call it. I've also made it akin to the idea of a trampoline. If you got a fence here and you can't see over it, you get on a trampoline, you can jump up and you can just look into, and you can see the other realm. So you get to jump a little higher and see over the barriers into another distinct universe. As much like a psychedelic provides you with an opportunity to observe other things that you could never, which is no different than using a very high form of technology. Well, welcome. It's good to see everyone. I'm still Zen. You are still you. What should we explore tonight? I will reiterate what I said earlier. So I was trying to, I haven't done later shows, but quite a difference in 6 months ago. My later shows, I had more of an audience, and if I did an early show, nobody really showed up. Now early shows, people show up. Late shows, not so much. Could the time zone thing, the fall, the changing of the time. I don't know if you do that in your city, state, country. That changes something. Hours of, and then seasonally, the weather could be changing. You might be outdoors more. You might be, a lot of things that go into it. That right on time. I think my charger just died here. Hold on, let me see this 1 second here. Might have a little bit of juice left. We'll see. Well, maybe this will work out where I guess if I don't have any more charge on this thing, you guys just won't be able to talk to me, and I'll just have to end the show. There we go. I got a secondary charger. Such things. How about this? For anybody that is here in the future, I'm going to sit here and just meditate. Maybe I can take you all on a short journey or walk through a type of meditation. Okay, this one's not corresponding with what I need either. So that will end the show a little earlier because I don't have enough juice. No juice for you guys. I guess I could go over that thing and plug it in. But I was going to say, we have a little meditation. Would you like to walk through a meditation? Should we start with breathing patterns? Closed eye, open eye. We're not going to be able to do a walking one right now because I'm sitting here. Maybe we'll examine again the ideas that people have about what meditation is or what yoga is. Yoga is not some posturing thing. Christopher Lee, I can see you now. Yes, I can. See, that's all you need to do. I don't know if you added it to your email, because like on YouTube, you could add an extra account to your same email, or you could just start a new email. So I don't know what you did, but there you are, man. What's up? I haven't chat with you in a bit. So meditation and yoga. Meditation is, there you go. Meditation you're doing always anyways. The different types of meditation. You have focused meditation. It's like, here's an object, an idea, a symbol, and maintaining a singular focus. Then you have meditation, which is like empty-mindedness, kind of like to allow your, just observe, let the thoughts occur. They're not yours. You have that type. You have you have a meditation maybe that you're focused on a metronome where you're keeping time. You might be walking, you might be paying attention to something. So you have the pay attention and the don't pay attention meditations. And you have yoga, which is not just mean prostrating or putting your body into different positions, but yoga is just generally being connected to your spirit. You're yoking your physical form to your spiritual form, and then to your mental form, and to your more connected to whatever you'd consider source. Which is a strange thing. If you've ever listened to me in the past, you might notice I could go on a little bit of a straight and narrow tirade of explaining something that it's still me, but I'm not talking through thinking about the words I'm going to say. Most of the time I'm doing that, but it's a very coherent, cohesive, streamlined piece of knowledge that sometimes I can say things that I didn't know I knew, but I was like, oh, that makes complete sense. I don't know how that connected in my brain. That's a type of yoga. I mean, certainly putting yourself into verb God, yeah, a comfortable position is a good meditation. Putting yourself into an uncomfortable posture is also a good meditation. It's a yogic posture to get into a type of meditation. So there's so many ways of introducing yourself to meditating and to yoga, which are always occurring. Life is a meditation unto itself, and yoga is already what you are. People lose their yoga. They lose their meditation in not being aware or conscious of it. But then if you become hyper aware of it, it can become almost like an echo chamber in your own mind. Like the fact that I'm looking at myself on here while saying something and thinking about what I'm going to be saying is almost unnerving. Except I've just done it long enough where it just doesn't bother me anymore. It's like, this is what I'm doing. But it's like if you start to think about thoughts too much, and all you have to think about is thoughts, and you'll get stuck in a loop. And it doesn't allow for creative free-form expression. The ability to just attempt something different, something new, something that like, here's a sound I never made before. Here's something I didn't know about. Let's see. Might be good, might be bad. Who knows? So what's up, Christopher? How's the Canadian weather? You guys snow up there now? I mean, obviously, depending on where you are, it's gonna change. But Canada to me is a little cold. See, also I consider the people that live in very cold regions to be like, if you can't for some part of your year wear shorts and sandals and be bare-chested, I don't know how that is conducive to a free life in a sense. You know what I mean? Like you can't even. you can, like you're in a way like you have to put clothes on. You have to put this. You have to do all of these things that are just not allowing for a full-on expression of something. Like I'm not saying everybody should be running around naked like we're wild animals and we should all be in those kind of communities. Hey, if you want to, go for it. That's good for you. Right, to get rid of all of the baggage of the ego and the jealousy and blah blah blah. But the ability to just, for at least some part of your existence during a year, to be more often in shorts and a t-shirt, that is vital. That is of vital importance to me, and I don't see how humans can continue to exist outside of such ranges of temperature. Like the cold doesn't make sense to me. Despite Wim Hof, despite all of the yogic masters, the monks sitting underneath the waterfalls that are super chilly. I mean, I get why, I get to doing it a little bit, but I don't see the simple joys in life. Like, life should be joyous and happy, and it should be a kind of central theme of life. And I don't see where the joy is in freezing your ass off. I don't see it. I mean, I like a cabin. I love a fire. I love the crispness of the air. I enjoy the idea and even being part of the seasons, but I can't see it for any other reason than to one little aspect. Like maybe go try it out, but I think humans are supposed to live where fruit grows and vegetation grows. We shouldn't live in places that we have to eat blubber. We shouldn't live in places we have to hunt for our food. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really asked yourself if your climate was conducive to your lifestyle, most people know it's not. What do you mean? Is it the climate? Is the climate going to? How to explain this? If you didn't have trains and planes and automobiles bringing in what needs to be where you are, could you exist? Would you choose to exist there? If you were existing as a singular being, as an autonomous singular soul, where would you choose to live? And could you? Would you choose to survive or thrive somewhere? It seems like most things that are living live in the temperate zones. Plant life exists, where it's warm, where there's sun and there's rain and there's all sorts of things going on, but it's warm. As you farther go into the colder regions, the things that a human requires to exist in a high functioning way are more they're really not there. You'd have to go find them. You'd have to leave where you are to go get what you needed. And life doesn't seem like it should work that way. You shouldn't have to go and find your food over there. You shouldn't have to go find you're gonna have to go chop some trees down for that fire. I thought we weren't supposed to be chopping trees down. I thought we loved the trees. Christopher Lee, what about the other two people here? I don't know. I mean, Christopher, I've said this plenty of times. I don't, the algorithms, I don't trust for nothing on here. Obviously, shadow banning is a motherfucker on my channel, as well as many others. It could be right, it could be wrong, I don't know. And there's people and there's also, there's people that come and listen. And then there's other people that can't comment, and there's others that don't. What's up, General? Oh yeah, okay. Well, thanks you. Hey, thanks for showing up. I'm just I don't think I've ever seen you before, maybe once, but yeah, what's up? just if you ever hear me in a silence, where they say on the radio, you can't have any dead air. I don't mind doing it, but if you ever hear me do that, feel free to just type some dumb shit in there. Type in octopus. Type in fucking some ridiculous word. I'm like, yeah, I can spitball off of that. Yeah. You can type in 2 tons of titanium tits. We could figure that out. I like alliteration too. If you're new here, welcome. I still am Zen. So I was considering trimming this thing, but it's the winter now, and by winter it's right now I think it's like 65 degrees. It's fucking chilly to me, and it's gonna be 70, 75 all week. I think we're gonna have a t-shirt and shorts Christmas. But soon enough I might get back to my original, my form from 2 years ago, which was when I was living at the beach in Alabama's. This was trimmed up in much more, I don't know, non lumberjack / wizard homeless retard way. Yeah, and anyways, I don't know what you know of what I talk about, or if you know of me, but feel free. I'm a walking encyclopedia of knowledge on anything. That's the simplest way of describing it. Hey, Christopher Lee, what's the alternative to Zoom? I might try it out for sure. I mean, I'm in my late stages of life. I'm so anti-learning. Look. I love new kinds of technology, and I love new things, and I love learning, obviously, about all sorts of shit. I'm just so spent on trying to, I hate the idea that I'm gonna have to probably diversify my bonds with different networks besides YouTube to have a platform to do things. But then learning that and getting in the mode of, okay, here's how I gotta hashtag this, I gotta do this, here's how to build an audience, blah blah blah. I'm just not interested in that. It just seems like somebody else do that for me. So it's like, damn it. Like if I had my druthers, it would just be YouTube working the way it should work, and being more open source and not censoring everything, and giving, letting me at least put my super chats and ads and shit back up so I can earn a little bit of cash, and I don't have to always ask you guys for, hey, donate. It's TSAR, CashApp, CashApp, PayPal. It's in the description box beneath. It'd be nice not to have to do that all the time. And I would like to use Zoom. So I would use YouTube and Zoom explicitly. But yeah. And learning new systems are just like, ugh. Didn't I just learn the last one? Well, yeah, put me onto it, man. What's the name of it? I mean, there's so many. That's the thing, Christopher. With things like YouTube and things like Zoom, obviously the pop platform is the best, because I don't want to get onto a platform that is going to be fly by night, and then I'm gonna tell my audience to come there, and they do, and then as soon as that shit is squashed or it doesn't work or I don't know, then I gotta be like, hey, jump to another platform. And there's people that have their videos across like 5 or 6 platforms, which I think is awesome. But it's like, my videos are live, and because I enjoyed this much better than I do the old videos that I made, and for me to do a live video and then download it and post it and all that I wouldn't be able to do live videos because it would take me all day to do the rest of the bullshit. But God, yeah. So there's that. I mean, I wouldn't be as productive doing this or creative or ambitious about interacting and having conversations and exploring whatever the hell you guys want to talk about if I have to do the rest of the shit. I should have already been given a little help me, you know what I mean? Somebody to do all my, like, it'd be simple if I had somebody to answer my emails and set the things up and do all the shit and just let me hit the play button. It would work out way better. PubHub. Okay, that sounds fun. So I could do it live from a pub. See, I used to be able to do shit from a lot of my earlier videos when I first started putting myself on camera were from bars and shit. But there might be music on, and then there would be some copyright, and it would get taken down anyways. And then I would be like earning some money from people super chatting me, but then there'd be music on, and then all of a sudden there was a couple shows that I made decent money in, but there was music in the background. That money just got deleted from me getting that money and went to whatever stupid song was playing in the background, which was shitty, but what are you gonna do? Who am I gonna argue with? Oh, welcome, Bernice McCormick. Thanks for putting all the letters in there. Hey, Christopher, whenever these things come through, do you ever put that in your computer and see what comes up? Is anything good? Because, I mean, they put the same thing in there all the time, so it seems like it's probably not for my benefit. Christopher said, your name and then name the tablet you want to be. Okay. Yeah, I got you. Your name and the name of the table you want to meet at. Okay, so I mean, it's set up pretty much. You come to this room, and it's completely unhinged. I can do anything I want in there. And how many people can show up? And here's a couple simple questions. How many people can show up? And can I see them? Can they type? It's a one-on-one interaction, or is me and anybody? And can there be people in the background just listening? I mean, oh, what's up, upward ship? What are you doing, yo? Who are you? What are you doing here? What's up, Earth? Okay, I'll check it out, PubHub. Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, we just bugging out here next to the pool, having a cocktail, talking about who knows what. Whatever you guys want to talk about. Okay, I'll check it. Yeah, for certain, Christopher. Maybe if I'll look it up tomorrow, and if it's easy enough to use, I'll just get on here and implore all of you to come over and check out the PubHub, the PubHub. So, upward ship. Are you somebody that I know already? Did you come from somewhere? Do you know who I am? No, I'm not saying it in that kind of egotistical fashion. I just wondered if you did. So that way you could understand who the fuck is speaking. And Earth, what's going on? What are you doing? Ah, the algorithm brought you. Good, good, good. Well, welcome again. Oh, you've been knowing my shit for that long. Cool, cool. Awesome. Well, and that's I find that really quite humbling and excellent. That even the people that have known me from years ago still fuck with my shit. I like that. I think that's very solid. It's like I got better friends here than I do in real life. What's up, Stan? What are you doing? Time for a beverage. What do you think? One second while I procure this iced tea mix out of here. Cool. I think we've accomplished it. So, obviously, as the show title was kind of implying, if you guys have any questions or any kind of, curiosities, feel free to ask me something. It can be pretty much anything. I mean, it's absolutely, you can ask me anything, doesn't mean I'm going to answer it, but what I'm saying is most anything you ask, I'll probably have a pretty quality answer. And as I tell people, if I don't know the answer, and here's what I learned at a pretty decent age, that if I'm not sure, I'll say I'm not sure, but I think and it seems this way, because I don't like to misguide people. I think that's shitty. If I don't know something for certain, I won't speak on it. I think it's silly. If I know something for certain, like drink your piss, it's good for you. Drink distilled water, it's good for you. If you're cold, sit next to some, a fire. You know what I mean? There's a few things I know. Other than that, I don't really comment. No comment on that. I mean, I will have a comment, which would tend to be towards, well, here's what I might think. Here's what I might feel, but I don't know. I'd rather prefer somewhere near gnosis than a gut instinct and feeling. While those are great ways to go, and how you should maybe gamble or take chances in life, going with your gut instinct. If I'm going to answer someone's question, it's got to be through gnosis, it's got to be through scholarship, it's got to be through that I've experienced it. What is the beverage of this evening? Right now I made a tea out of, it's a purple tea. And it's a bunch of flowers, hibiscus, and some Schisandra berries, which is one of the fundamental instruments of traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, as a plant life that provides the 5 essences that you really need in the human body. Kind of in like the sweet, sour, salty, savory, and spicy category, but a little different. I forget exactly what the names are, but they give you different elements and different qualities in the body. So Schisandra berry, and then some black tea and vodka. It's the shittiest of vodka. Well, excuse me again for being here. It's just not. It's not a bottle that I would buy too often. It was just it was in my financial range, It's the season where everybody's gift giving, I guess, and maybe I overgave and didn't receive enough in return. Louisiana iced tea. Well, I don't know what people. I mean, oh no, it's not like that. It's not like sweet. It's not like sweet tea. No, no, no. I do, however, I'm very fond of a half and half or an Arnold Palmer, a lemonade iced tea. A half and half is pretty much go to. It's like icky sweet, but the reason people drink the icky sweet in the South is not that it's icky sweet and we want all the sugar, but because you're going to be out in the sun and that ice is going to melt quickly, so it's not going to be that. It's not going to be as sweet as you. It's not going to be as sweet as you made it. You're making like a concentrate that, as the day goes by, it turns into what it should be. So right as the ice is like halfway melted, it'll be the proper sweetness. And the lemonade, you can't beat it. Long Island iced teas? Well, yeah, a Louisiana iced tea would be throw a little that was like kind of like an ice pick, right? Iced tea and vodka. Where a Long Island, I used to work at a comedy club, and when I got done working, the go-to move, because now everyone's, the comedians are done, we got to clean up the tables, but the bar is still open, so we're getting off work and we still want to hang out, but we got to get there quick. So we get off and it's like Long Island iced tea, just one straight to the face, and now you're in there. Good 15 minutes and you're ready to go. Long Islands it's a dangerous substance right there. Yeah, it's potent. It's just when you get to the warmer climates, it's really not worth drinking the super high alcohol content shit. Cause it's just because it's too hot, and you want to drink more because it's hot, and then you're gonna be kind of dehydrating yourself. So it's like it's a double whammy. Oh, and as we're speaking about drinking, if anybody was feeling giving because of your background and as a good Christian, and or maybe not, maybe you're not but you celebrate Christmas, that you wanted to buy a gift. If anybody wants to buy me a gift, feel free, buy me. You could send me a bottle. You could buy me just one drink. You could send me a nickel. CashApp, PayPal, Venmo, description box. I appreciate it. So that way I don't have to drink lighter fluid and cheap iced tea. No, the iced tea actually I made was not. It was from a very good blend was a gift, in fact, from somebody out here who got me a really good blend of teas and herbs and berries. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the music in the background. I was gonna go in there and you guys could have rocked out, but it was last time I went there that it's too loud. Ah, that's right, Stan. Yeah, this is yeah, it's weird. It depends on what it is. Like some things I can smoke, and other things give me a head rush and I don't like it. Cigars I like. I don't like cigarettes per se. This is like it's like a black and mild. It's not a black and mild. It's what is it? It's like a Swisher. I don't inhale it all the time, but it's It's not right. It's not right. Yeah, Stan, my constitution of the things that I ingest very much varied. Like alcohol, different types of it. Most people do have this to a degree, but I think that the more it's like after you fast, you'll know the difference between what a strawberry is doing and what banana is doing for your body. And like tobacco just on its own, it's a wide variance. Alcohol, like a dark liquor, is wildly different than clear liquor. And it's way different than tequila. Way different than a beer, way different than wine to me. It's not even close. Like literally the way my brain chemistry and the way that I have a certain bodily reaction. Same thing with tobacco. I didn't smoke cigarettes growing up. Never really smoked cigarettes. I will here and there if somebody's got like an American Spirit or something, maybe. I used to smoke. I mean, I've always smoked cigars, but that isn't really inhaling, and it's a different experience. But I used to smoke like I smoked tobacco. I smoked pipes for a little bit when I was younger, just because I liked it. I liked the smell. And I smoked a lot of black and milds, if you know what those are, because I used to go to bars that people would be smoking cigarettes, and I couldn't stand the smell. I hated it. But I was like, I'm sitting here in a bar and I'm breathing it, and it's like. And then somebody came in and we're playing pool, because I would go to bars and shoot pool. And somebody was smoking a black and mild. I was like, let me hit that. I was like, well, so I just started smoking black and milds for a couple of years. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, even thinking about it in the form of foods. Everybody has different tolerances to different foods that we eat, right? Like most people would say, a hot dog and a hamburger is the same damn thing in a sense of like standard American diet. You got a white bread, some meat product, and whatever. But there's all sorts of little extra different chemicals and shit in there. Like if I eat a hamburger versus I eat a hot dog, when I have to shit and how I'm shitting, wildly different. Corn cob, yeah, tobacco, as we were talking about earlier, and we've discussed many times, I think tobacco in general has gotten a bad rap, for what it is. Just like anything. Anything that we consume has gotten a really bad rap because we're not consuming it in the way it should be, what it was, how it was. Like just what is it? Let me try it in its original source. Many people would have way less of a problem with tobacco. Like, I mean, think about it. The smell of a cigarette is obnoxious to me. It stinks. It's filthy. The smell of a cigar, even when I was younger, cigarettes fucking abhor. Ugh. But if someone was smoking a pipe, I was like, that's interesting. I don't mind that. And if somebody was smoking a cigar, I was like, that's really, it's sweet. I like it. It's a great aroma. Yet, general population, if somebody was smoking a cigarette, they would be pissed at whoever's smoking a cigar. And I was like, what's wrong with you? Doesn't make sense. But what's the actual, what is a cigar? It's literally just a tobacco paper. Nothing else done to it. Just put it there. Cigarette, well, that's what's been on the floor, and we're going to put some sprays on that. We're going to do this, and here's some extra shit. Like, sounds like a burning chemical factory of, ugh. And it's addictive and gives you all sorts of, like, a headache. I don't know. I don't know anybody that's addicted to a pipe, like truthfully, or a cigar. Like even for me, even tobacco, like in this, I could not smoke for 2 weeks and it doesn't even fucking. It's just something to do sometimes. It's like it's a pastime, huh? Yeah, cigars are where it's at, and the psychology that goes along with it. I mean, look at how a cigarette, meaning a small cigar, or the ETTE means small or feminine form. Cigarette means I just want to do this now, and it's a quick little fix of something. You got to get that little thing in there, and you go out and smoke that a couple times every hour. Where cigar is like, it's deep, relaxing, contemplative, and it takes 30 minutes to an hour, and you're invested into it. There's an investment. You go out in the street corner, somebody smoking a cigarette, you have the small little talk, the water cooler talk. Oh, what about the stupid shit you seen on the news? We can talk about for 2 seconds. What about the weather? You talk about the most mundane bullshit. Cigar, you're invested. Here's 30 minutes. What do you want to get into? And the way you smoke it and their patience with it, it's a whole different thing. And changes your body chemistry in a different way too. Your posture, it's a relaxing thing, it's not a tense thing. Cigarettes, people are tense. They're very fixed. If I drink some espresso and have a cigar, I'm fucking good. That's my druthers. Like, I want to drink a glass of wine, have a cup of espresso, and smoke a cigar. I'm gonna sit there, and I'm golden, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Then I see people out here. They got their coffee, light roast, extra this and that, and they got their cigarette. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but that's the anxious culture that's being driven by the chemical of what's in that coffee, the chemical of what's in that cigarette. Yeah, the cigarette smoke outside than being inside. Interesting. Well, I mean, there's the warming of the air, the lungs, and then that from being in a cold, breathing in the nose and breathing out of the mouth, and you're heating up the oxygen or heating up the chemical that's going into you, or it's gonna be definitely, that's a starker contrast. Huh? Hey, you guys want to give me 2 minutes? I have to go piss. I'll be right back. Whoa. You see my dumb ass running that pole when I was getting up. Well, I didn't bring a general. I didn't bring my cup with me. And anybody that's familiar, drinking piss past sundown, unless you're on a fast, and I'll be up all night. There's too much energy in it. It's too cleansative and too energetically potent. Yeah, pretty much urine and coffee have a very similar effect. If I drink either one of them past 3 p.m., I'll be up until 4. It's too much for different reasons. I mean, obviously there's the coffee is the caffeine and making you not feel tired, and then urine is just like, here, have some energy. Yeah. So the coffee it's not making you. Caffeine is not like an upper per se. It's eliminating the connection of your body saying that you're tired. Like if you take white willow or aspirin, same thing, right? Except aspirin's you got sodium in there and blah blah blah. So it's cutting off that pain receptor site where you don't feel the pain, or it represses a symptom. A symptom of you being tired is what the caffeine does. It just says you're not tired. It doesn't say, hey, you're awake and blah, go do something crazy. That's the extra added shaky, jittery shit isn't from coffee, isn't from caffeine. It's from the chemicals they spray it with and the extra white sugar you put in there. Oh, General, do you participate in the PP consumption? Are you a PP head? Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, that's how it functions. Somebody did a breakdown on what's happening with it the other day chemically in the brain. I'll have to find the video again. It's just something I was watching. It was late. I was so I'm in scrolling through the YouTubes, listening to some crazy shit, and it's been a while. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. People ask me because I'm obviously out here telling people, but I don't as often as I should. I mean, how often should you really be drinking your piss? Really? Every day. You should probably be getting up every day and at least swishing it around. You should at least maybe your second piss have some, but I might go a month or two and not, for many different reasons. But I think it's also like if I get to the point of starting to drink piss, I get on a different vibe, different level, and then my interactions with what I'm working with in my general vicinity, my reality around me, it doesn't work. It doesn't. It's like I'm not talking on that vibe. I'm not interacting that way. And there's always, as I'll put out there for all the people that get on that, you got to be healthy. You got to have a clean diet. They always eliminate the grounding yourself. They eliminate that. They eliminate all of the heavy, dense materials that keeps you connected to the earth and not being a space cadet. And that's a major malfunction for a lot of them. I've been there. It's great to be all like airy-fairy, but then you just got your blue and your purple going, beep, beep. You got your green, your blues, and your purple chakras rocking. But then your ground out is not there. You're not consuming the heavier, denser things that pull your energy to balance it. Like even healthy things, you have to do it in moderation. Like the things that are like, oh, that's the healthiest, most good thing. That's the good thing. That's the healthy. And people are like, well, you got to do that. You got to always do that. No, you got to do that in moderation too. Just what it is. Well, that's good though. Well, he says, been a bit. At least you know. See, maybe I'll do a whole show on that. Have you ever told other people, and how do they respond, and have you ever got anybody else to drink their piss? It's quite interesting. It doesn't even equate to me. It's kind of like when I look at how many people have listened to me and how many hours they've spent listening to my bullshit. And I say bullshit jokingly because some of it's bullshit, like just bullshitting, but so much of it is obviously very high level shit and very scholarly knowledge, But it's interesting, like I have this many million views and this many hundreds of, how many millions of hours have people listened to me talk? That's crazy. And then I think about how many people have drank piss because I was like, you should consider this. And I don't think about it, because if I thought about it, they'd be like, whoa, what the hell? Why is anybody listening to me? Yeah, General, that's hilarious. Yeah, you can't. I mean, I can be around that. I can be, but it's like, you're going to be speaking a different language. You're speaking from a different place. You can say the same words, but it's going to come out different. To the person hearing you, it's the same way if I said the words to a song versus sang them, there'll just be a different harmonic. It's not necessarily even not in the way that you're going to be saying it differently. But there will be something. It's kind of like, I could look into your eyes, you could look into my eyes, and there'll be an energy there. But if you're drinking piss, or you've stared in the sun, or it's a different energy, like, whoa, glowing, or magnetic. It's more magnetic. What'd you say? Stan, I'm wearing a tongue. And a coat. No, I have a t-shirt. I have a long sleeve t-shirt, a t-shirt, a jacket that's pretty hefty, and it's 65, and I have my hat on. Yeah, that's how much I've acclimated to the heat. That I don't like the cold. Like right now, my hands are a little cold. When I lived in the Northeast, I'd be in t-shirt and shorts right now. But like my body and being more liquid diet, my blood is different. The viscosity is different, so I can't handle the cold as much. That's funny though. General, you said you haven't told anybody that you drink piss. Yeah, I think it's probably got to be really difficult for people to tell other people that they, it's like saying, oh, you think the Earth is not a spinning ball and it might be flat, right? That's a difficult conversation. And Snickers and you're an idiot. What the fuck? Drinking piss. That's another one that's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Now, I can understand for other people how that's got to be totally fucking difficult to do. For me, I'll look somebody dead in their face and be like, of course I drink piss. Say something. Like, they'll already know that I already know what I'm talking about, and that I'm already that. So for me, I don't like, of course I drink my piss. What the fuck is wrong with you? But I can see how that would be a whole fucking thing to have a conversation with to anybody about. Drink piss. What's wrong? That's my favorite thing. When somebody looks at me crooked, I'm like, are you sure here? Are you sure about that? Are you sure that what here is saying unhealthy? What here is saying not powerful? What here is saying, because I'm looking at you, seeing you, and I know you don't, and I know what you eat, and I know what you do. I think I win this conversation. Oh, a toku, yeah, a toque. Yeah, this is, yeah. Oh, it's cozy. It's one of my favorites. Also reversible. Put a little white on the inside. Yeah. Yeah, like right now, I should be able to be in a t-shirt and shorts. It's really not that cold, but I like warmth. I like the creature comforts. Here, let me get back in there with you guys. Yeah, you're gonna have to. You'll find the I don't give a fuck attitude. There is a reason. There is a reason, in some way, to give a fuck in a certain kind of way. Like when to bring something up and being, socially apt versus not wanting to. What do they call it? Social credit. Social credit, or having your in groups or your circles of people that provide you with, like whatever the types of interactions. That by saying something like that, if you just say certain people that love NASA, that think we went to the moon, to like, well, explicitly, here's the things that I think. I'm gonna piss off everybody on this side, everybody on that side. If you're Republican, I'll piss you off. If you're a Democrat, I'll piss you off. If you think we went to the moon, I think, what am I gonna do about it? I gave up those things. I gave up the, what do you expect? What the fuck do you expect me to say? I'm not gonna sit here and fucking stroke you off and lie to you, because if I just say the right thing, you might like me better. You know how many times people have asked me, like, they'll play music and they're like, oh, what do you think about it? And sometimes people will play me their music and they won't tell me, but I know it's their music. But what am I gonna do? I'm like, no, I don't like it. I'm like, looking at the guy, I'm like, well, here's what I don't like. It's not, it doesn't, like, I like other aspects of your music or you or whatever, but like, all right, that's not for me. And where other people are like, no, here's how I always equate it. It's like going to your aunt's house and she makes a meal that is just atrocious, and then you eat it, and your parents tell you to, she's feeding you. Be fed, be happy, be thankful. But then you'd be like, oh yeah, that was so good. And then next time you go, you like that so much, and gives it to you again, having no realization, and going, I appreciate the cooking, I'm thankful for it, but however, the flavors and the taste just ain't for me, or maybe you just suck at cooking. Well, what am I gonna do about that? Like, what am I gonna sit there and put myself in a position to eat the same shitty meal every time I fucking hang out? Like, I'm not gonna do that. I think it's something to do with self-respect and being honest. So, I don't care if my aunt cooks for me and thinks that she loves it. Other people, maybe because her husband, he's such a putz that lived his whole life eating her shitty ass cooking. I don't know. I didn't marry her. I don't have to deal with that shit. That's your fault. You should have told her a long time. I know you don't even like it. You ever get that? People are like, well, I know it's not good, but just say it's good. Like, I didn't sign up for this. You guys can hear this? I did get asked to play the bongos for this group here. Now, I got asked because I know the cat that he just went like recorded. He was just in. Well, he went to LA and then he went to. I think fucking Puerto Rico. Fuck did he go to? Yeah, Puerto Rico. I think. Anyways, he just flew back today. Music videos and whatever. And like he knows me a little bit, and he knows how I make music, and he knows that like, whatever. I got my own style and shit. He's like, we kind of need somebody to play the bongos. He's like, or play the drum beat or something. It's like, fuck. I was like, I don't really know. He's like, dude, I just need you to just follow a beat. Just fucking, do you want to? And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, so maybe I'll just spend the next couple weeks playing the bongo, and hey, maybe you guys get to see me jamming out soon. Maybe that I'll go from never playing the bongos to being fucking who was it, the Matthew McConaughey playing the bongos naked. Fucking silly. Anybody here play music? It's weird. That's kind of the beginning of the video, and maybe the earlier video we were talking about music and being able to use electronic equipment to make something versus analog. Like I can keep a beat. I could play I could play a 3-piece probably. I never have tried. I've fucked with these things, but I make electronic music with an analog synthesizer. But it's like, it's pressing keys, and it gives me the timing. It does the timing for me. I mean, I could do it, but it's like maybe I'll learn maybe a new trick for Zen. How Earth you do? Come down here and play with this band. They're pretty awesome. They're pretty cool. I think you'd like them. Yeah, Earth, what do you play? 2000, well, who the fucking cares? There's planes that exist now. Get on, I'll rent you a helicopter. You can borrow mine. It will land you right on my roof. You see it? There's the rooftop. There's a helipad up there. Let's get the Zen helicopter. What the fuck? You want it? Say. You want my yacht? It'll take you longer to get here, but guitar, percussion, and synths. Oh, so you play, okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, I had a guitar, and it didn't coordinate with what my hand. I didn't like my wrist position. Nothing made sense to me. Keyboard makes sense to me. Percussion makes sense to me. I just have never really dug into it. Oh, speaking of professional musicians, our boy David Mannion, who lives in Ireland, he called me he didn't call me, he texted me last night, and said he sent me some video, his whole city went out, power went out, so the whole grid went down. And he's like, but it didn't look like It didn't look like a power source like got shut off. It didn't look like, he said there was an explosion and a blast of color and radiating thing that made things shake. And he's like, it was not like a transformer blowing. And he's like, the whole city was off grid. He's like, dude, it felt like plasma. It felt like something different, like the energy, that everything changed. Yeah. Apparently he has power back, but hey, plasma apocalypse, y'all. Are you ready? You ready for the zombies? Or do we get to skip the zombie part? Did we already get enough zombies with these motherfuckers that we gotta hang out with on a regular basis? Because, yeah, I mean, if you didn't know, David Mannion, he's apparently well-versed and world-traveled enough where he told me a story about he traded a bottle of Jägermeister for a Porsche because he had a Porsche and he was like, they're out partying. He went to a bar and they're like, no, we're closing, blah, blah. He's like, no, just let me in. Like, I'll give you the keys to my fucking Porsche right here. It's yours. I want that bottle right there for my, I mean, it was a nice bottle, whatever. But I was like, that's the kind of lifestyle he lived. People got, well, you know, I guess if you're rock and roll, man, rock and roll, everything else is, it's all momentary, subjective nature to what is most important for your fun levels right now. Somebody that I have not met in person, but it's somebody you know people that you kind of talk to and interact with, and you're like, I'd fucking get along with them in person. Yeah, he's a cool guy. So if you next time you get a chance, if he's on, he'll be on here one of these days soon, I'm sure. Say hello. He went to a Santana concert. I kind of always forget how old some of these musicians are. Like people that I grew up with a little bit, you know, musicians listening to, you know, even my 20s. So that's like add 20 to them. If they were in their 40s when I was in my 20s, and they're in their 60s. So like Santana been around, huh? He got to be in his 70s almost, huh? He said Sheila held her head low that morning. She had been with the bongo player. I don't know if that's a lyric of his, or if it's a chick that you know named Sheila, or if you're using a humorous reference to don't fuck the percussionist, don't fuck the bongo player. I've always heard the worst lays are the lead vocalist, and if you really want to have a night about it, fuck the drummer. The bassist is cool. You have great conversation with the guitarist. As you're a chick, I'm from the standpoint of the bands that I've known and how it tends to be. But in the same light, the drummer is probably the least good looking. The keyboardist, good looking. Guitarist, good looking. Lead singer's got to be the best looking, but gonna be the worst fuck. I don't know. Oh, that's a real story. Well, also, you know, it depends. It depends on what bandmate would you mate with. They all have their little idiosyncrasies too. Carlos Santana. That's hilarious. Wait, Irv, you're talking about the same Carlos Santana you're talking about. I mean, you don't you're not a you don't make music. You're not a rock star and not live some of that lifestyle. It's few and far between where somebody is just doing it for the music. There's not too many dudes that got into it because they love music. They do. Don't get me wrong, but it's the party favors that they get. It's kind of different than sports. See, in sports, you do it because that's your thing, because you're good at it. You will get all the extra perks of being a professional, but the number of people that can be a professional sportsman, slim. To be somewhat of a rock star, just pick up an instrument. You'll get there. You'll be something. Even if you're busking, you're still kind of a rock star. Hey Earth, did you ever busk anywhere, or did you play bands? Did you play with? Songwriting only. Yeah, interesting. I've written a lot, and I write. For a while I was very much into writing, and poetry and short story. Well, maybe not short story so much, but like writing wherever it went to. But I never could see it translate musically per se, because it was a transition. Like when I wrote, it wasn't for the purpose of music. And when I hear something musically, the only thing I can even come close to doing is, spit bars, a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of like, what can we rhyme here that'll be funny? But I can never songwriting. It takes a different species, I think, to songwrite properly. Oh, they're gonna play right now. You hear it? Let me get. I just heard the first couple. There it is. Yeah. This could be. Yeah. Oh, you can hear it now, yeah. So if you can hear the singing, that's not Bob. Oh no! You know what's no good right now? I don't have a mixer for this. Uh-oh. Guess we got to go straight to full proof, full throttle. Oh, here's something y'all should check out. There's a great video called Shaman or Schizophrenic, and I believe it was Terrence McKenna that might have done this talk. And he just talks about a lot of people that you would assume are chemically imbalanced are by the psychiatric institution of insanity. they try to claim people's disorders and how to chemically balance them to be within line of what the thinking patterns that they should be, and are explaining that people that are schizophrenic are tapping into other realms, are more in tune with shamanic things, like what the shamans were doing. In the same way, think of like all of the journeys and the, you know, you go to the middle of the forest and you do the mushrooms. You go and see the shaman that takes you on an ayahuasca journey. Like, they're using that to help other people get through the gateways and the doorways to different perceptions of reality. But we live in a culture so closed off from those separate forms of reality that anybody that sees those are considered schizophrenic or bipolar or insane, when in fact they're just accessing things that other people have closed their ability to access. Like they can't. Like, people are already, because they're so drugged up on things that they've put barriers in the way that their brain functions. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, you want Stan? That's awesome. Barbados. Hey, hey Stan, maybe you didn't know, but maybe you got to meet Neville Goddard, because his whole family is from Barbados. Yeah, the Motown Caribbean, that's what's up. Yes, I dig all that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Stan. Obviously, some people are schizo due to maybe opening up things in their brain due to certain chemicals, and there are certain people that are imbalanced. But I certainly know people that use substances that you would find to be abhorrent. Just that person is insane and disgusting and a filthy individual. And I know people that they walk around they're normal people, and in fact very wise, enlightened people that do things that you would be like, no way that person does that, or no way that's, and you wouldn't notice. But there are people that are, as that's a little side note, but there are people that are mentally completely imbalanced, but there are just as equal as many, probably more, that are just capable of seeing into other realms. Kids that are like, oh, I see this thing, and da-da-da-da. You're like, oh, no, you're just imagining that. And they're not imagining it. They're literally can see it. They're experiencing it. And then what do? We start giving them meds, and we start closing off ways of their experience, their perception, doorways of perception. Yeah, I mean, going deeper into that, like some chemical imbalances. Um, hmm. Like if you had all of your balances, like how to put it, if you had equal measure to all of your imbalances, the one like going to that one crazy weird place wouldn't look so off. But some people they're imbalanced in the sense that they're all into this one sort of they're into one crazy realm, or they consume one individual substance, which always takes them to that place, not exploring the other parts of their brain or other experiences or other substances that are, again, if you understand your word stance as you, and then your substance is things that are below you but that you ingest to see and experience different realities. And we try to define this reality as an individual, specific, this is what it is. It's like, we know objectively a chair is a chair, but if you were to open up your perception of what a chair is, a chair could be a place to put your tools. It could be, you could use this as an art easel. You could flip the chair over and use it to prop something up. This could be a chair could be 100 different things to you. And that's what is its primary function and use, and what was it made for? Yeah, purposely it was used for something. It was made that way. The person that designed it was like, this is a chair, and this is how you sit in it. But then the other person says, well, I could use this to be 100 different things. So subjectively, their reality unfolds to something new. I mean, think about it. If your environment changes, the tools you'd have would change. Yes, Dad. Yes, Dad. Stan, you want to? Out of all the people that I would do a show with, me and you should do a show. You want it? We need to fucking kick it and do a live conversation for people. Yeah, one side of the spirit, one split side of the personality has an allergy, then changes and it's not an allergy. It's not allergic. Yeah. I mean, it's a simple way of getting rid of an allergy is to take a small quantity of, say, if you're allergic to peanuts, you would take one peanut and eat it. And you'd have a tiny little reaction. The next day, you would have two. And then you would continue that until your body became more familiar with the substance, much like, antigens, antibodies, that type of things. Or dealing with, types of, like, okay, if you're not familiar with cold weather, you go to cold weather. You'll become more accustomed to it. You're not hot weather, you'll get accustomed to it. Anything that you're not accustomed to. Like, you might not like a style of food, you like, and eventually, like, it grows on you. Like, there's all sorts of things I didn't like as a child that I ate more and more, or somebody cooked it for me finally right. And I was like, oh, here's what I've been missing out on. Yeah, allergy to me in a larger, let's do the thing I do, in a larger psychological phenomena, I guess. Allergies is just a preference, and if you have a major dislike here for something, then your body will have a response to that. So your perception of it could alter whether or not your body responds to it that way. It's not saying to see, now people go, so what are you saying? So a turd would turn you into a turd eater in a month? Like, no. But the things that we have a predilection for, or a preference for, or like, no, I don't necessarily like that. Like, it could alter based upon company, or environment. Foods will taste different in different areas. The same exact meal. So those sorts of foods I don't like to eat. In a shitty bar where it's cold, there's a certain thing I don't want to eat. in a nice restaurant, I want to, I want to eat something different. Yeah, interesting thing about smoking for a lot of people is it actually it increases their lung capacity. It's some of the only times that people get to fully express their lung gauge and their ability to open up their chest and breathe. Because think about it, most people breathe like this. They breathe very shallow and low. And when they smoke a cigarette, they're actually taking in more up into they take it all in. They go. So they're actually expanding how much they could inhale. So when they're not, they're maybe taking in more oxygen, more air the rest of the time. So it's like when some people get off of, like, one of the old ways of helping people to get off of smoking cigarettes is give them a straw and have them just breathe through the straw, because now they're just taking in extra oxygen and they're getting maybe a head rush just from that. Yeah. The clavicles. I mean, that could be maybe perhaps that's why I don't have a predisposition to like smoking at all. It doesn't really change much for me. Like, I might get a little bit of a head rush from the chemical in it, but that's not impressive to me, because normally my breathing, I have larger lungs and I have a wider chest, and I've always done sports, and I've always had a breathing pattern with the nose, like this, and I'm already breathing in properly, so it doesn't really, where if somebody had smaller chest, didn't breathe in a lot, and they were to smoke something, it would open up their lungs in a bunch of different. Yeah, that's interesting idea. So check it out. My phone is almost out of juice here. I ran out of battery charger, and I didn't have a way of plugging the phone in. So I will be kicking it with you for a couple more minutes here, but I will remind you, CashApp, PayPal, Venmo, it's in the description box. TSAR, capital XEN, TsarXen, whatever you like to call it, that's me. If you want to donate because you're feeling all gifty, or maybe you found some nickels and dimes and quarters in your cushions, feel free. And as a reminder, I'm secondary to your existence. Take care of yourself first. You always should. But once you do that, then you should help out others. Pretty easy. Earth, what is my email? I should put that in this. I say this all the time, and I don't get to doing it because I don't have a PC. It's Theo Luminous, THEO, Theo, God, THEO, Luminous, LUMINOUS, light. God light. I think I'll probably start a new email called Burp God. Yeah, Theo Luminous, Gmail. That's me. That's how you can interact with me. So if you have anything that you needed help with, or that I might not be able to address completely on YouTube, or just because it's too long of a conversation, feel free to hit me up there. And if anybody needs one-on-one consultations about anything health or spiritual related, or any of the weird shit, you can always email me, Theo Luminous. Interesting, Dad. Yeah, that's enough. The grabbing the bottom of the rib cage and pulling out. I've never thought of that, but people should do the opposite as well. Is use your fingers to get into where your organs are, to give them a good, healthy massaging. Whenever you're doing enemas and things, they always tell you when you're doing it, you should be massaging your stomach to move. I know you're working more with what's going on in your large intestines, your small intestines, you're working with that. But you do have organs you can get to with your thumbs and fingers that you should be massaging. And, a lot of it is back, deep tissue, blah, blah, blah. But you personally can work on organs you have in front of you. That every once in a while they need a good, healthy dose of massaging. A lot of people with like crazy things that they're having issues with, they probably could fix pretty quickly, pretty easily, just by putting, as I like the way that Savan Bomar put it, he said it's a brute force method, which is you can physically adjust by going to a chiropractor, which is super helpful, and you can do all sorts of things. You can do some workouts, you can do all sorts of shit, but just by physically altering things, you're going to alter to your brain, your spirituality, your expression of anything. So you can do it from one direction where you think more and open up things, you start posturing yourself different, or you could just go ahead and, adjust something. Yeah, moving the organs around, yeah. That was one of the Mandela effects that I had pretty heavy, was looking at the chart of where the heart was in the human body and how far to the left side it was supposedly supposed to be, and then looking at how close it was to the middle. And I was like, it was no way it was ever on any diagram I'd ever seen close to the middle. And in every diagram I've looked at in the past 2 years, it's very close to center. Yeah, and anybody wants an easy way to help your kidneys out, just eat a bunch of cucumbers. Those are really good. Kidney beans are obviously for the kidneys. Watermelon, it's good for your brain and your kidneys. Interesting. See, Stan, a lot of people, we go with what is popular, what the popular narrative is, but how would you really know? How could you, and who knows why things are where they are in the body? People move things all the time. You change the size of your muscles, you change how far your ligaments and your tendons can stretch. You can change placement. People get hernias and have something happen with how their abdomen and their intestines sit. People's intestines get all screwed up. Why wouldn't you be able to change where your organs are? If you continually were putting pressure on something and moving something, your spine will change. If you are always sitting like this, eventually you'll have a little hook in your back. Scoliosis, you lean on one, you put your wallet underneath your right back pocket, you're going to sit this way, and all of a sudden your spine's going to do one of these. So why wouldn't the internal organs work the same way? Of course they would. You could move them. Hey, to a sip of high octane, funny car fuel. Oh, ain't that nice? Moonshine, huh? And to anybody here that has never had real moonshine, it's a whole different vehicle. It's a whole different thing. Strawberry moonshine, good shit. It really, like, it shows you the difference between people's energy, the moon's energy, how it's brewed, the whole thing. Your body will heat up, and the way it hits you is different. It's It's a nice laughy, warming effect most of the time, depending on where you get it from. I mean, if you're with moonshiners that are doing vodka versus whiskey, there's it's a little different beast there, but it's going to be way different than what you get from commercially available product. Same way it's different. You're going to get Backyard Boogie or some Indo that somebody grew. Way different than getting commercial bought. It's like the difference between eating an heirloom tomato and a tomato. It's not even the same. It's the same thing between, have you ever had an egg with a bright orange yolk and it tastes completely different? Then you get the yellow yolks and it's these eggs it's a whole different thing. Whole different energy. Well, this was fun. That's one of the least visited so far of the shows I've done recently, and the least thumbs ups. How dare all of you? The easiest thing you can do, and you don't even need to use your thumb to do it. You could use your toe, you could use your belly button, you could use however you want to hit the button. Feel free. You can do that. It's great. Like a stripper out here asking for tips. Tits for tips. Well, thank you, Stan. I think you were saying that to me. What else? Anything else? Any last couple words or ideas for the evening, or should we just make our ways to new things? I guess I will leave everybody this evening with Stan's word here of quality. Quality is the only type of equality. Maybe I'll do a whole video on that. I mean, is it any wonder that equality is rooted in quality? So energy quality. That's what equality is. It's much like equanimity. Equality isn't sameness. It's how much energy is needed to accomplish something. It has been a pleasure. I'm going to roll the fuck out of here. Do weird things. Be well. Stay weird. Be yourself, because everybody else is already taken. And take care of yourself. Feel free, if you like to. CashApp, PayPal, Venmo. I might start my own thing called Zenmo. Feel free. And we'll talk soon. Perhaps tomorrow. Good to see you, Stan. Good to see you, everybody else. Have an amazing quality evening. And, yeah, bye. Toodles. Later, alligator. In a while, crocodile.